coming from a background where you are an ambitious you're an ambitious student.
Yes.
I've always been involved in your HR, in your what do you call SRCs,
Yes.
and all of those BFC, whatever, SASCO,
Yes,
you know.
yes, student
I was very
command.
active, yes.
Yes.
I was very active. So I was a bit overly confident when I entered the market, and I had to realize, I had to come to a realization very quickly that coming from school is different from the workplace.
Yeah.
When you start earning more with no responsibilities, what do you do with your money? I could have done even better.
Yes.
Not that I did bad.
Yeah, yes.
So when we talk about skills gap, is the same. You go back to what we just spoke about in terms of where did you do
That qualification. Yeah.
Where did you do the qualification?
Yeah.
Because they were taking specifically only from universities, right? And then the program under it will be University of Technology.
Yes.
Right.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.
If you just tuned in into your radio station, just know that you are listening to TUT FM 96.2. We amplifying voices, empowering lives. And I told you, on a Wednesday at exactly 7:30, you know what time it is. It is that time for Plug a Graduate. And tonight's conversation is centered around employment, learnerships, entrepreneurship, and business. And for our guest into that conversation is Miss Nokuthula Makhanya, who is an entrepreneur and a former mining industry professional, currently the owner of a successful human resource firm. She'll definitely get into that and tell us what that firm is all about. Without wasting time, but before I allow her, let me read to you that what she's, because people have accolades, brother. People are not just like me who just have a diploma and that's it. People have done a lot of things. So Mr. Nokuthula Makhanya is a 37-year-old entrepreneur and a former mining industry professional with a strong foundation in human resources and customer service. With 8 years of experience in the mining sector, Nokuthula transitioned to business in 2015, launching her first venture, a cleaning services company specializing in domestic cleaning, garden services, and laundry. This company flourished under her leadership until 2020, demonstrating her expertise in operational management and client relations. Now, Ms. Nokuthula is the owner of a successful human resources firm that provides comprehensive outsourced services, tailored HR services. And with that being said, allow me to welcome on the show Ms. Makhanya. Good evening and welcome to Plug a Graduate.
Thank you, Polelo. I just want to greet the listeners as well. I'm really honored to be here. I'm really happy to be here.
Definitely. I told you this is going to be a very fantastic conversation. We're not going to be formal or strict, like as if we're interviewing the president of the republic. You understand? So
yeah, wonderful.
Feel free and eventually, right? Okay. Let's get into the conversation, right? I told you that we have a lot of questions packed for you.
Of
have
course.
A very great team behind me.
Yes.
So because this is Plug a Graduate, we mainly focus on graduates, and we have to understand that many graduates in South Africa are entering a labor market that is increasing competitive and uncertain, especially in sectors like mining, which are influenced by global demand fluctuations and local economic policies. And now the 2023 mining charter, aimed at promoting transformation within the industry, has heightened the pressure of new transparency to meet evolving standards and expectations. Now the question comes to say, what specific challenges did you grapple with when you were transitioning from tertiary education to the mining sector those many years ago? How did you navigate through those challenges?
Wow, yes. So it was a very exciting one. It was my first job. I got a job in the HR department where we were doing benefits for the miners.
Oh, yes.
So you are in contact with every person from the ground up, right? Where we're doing all of the benefits for them. That will include your medical aid and all of those things. So it was quite interesting for me. I think coming from a background where you are an ambitious you're an ambitious student.
Yes.
I've always been involved in your HR, in your what do you call SRCs,
yes,
and all of those BFC, whatever, SASCO,
yes,
you know.
yes,
I was
command.
very active, yes.
Yes.
I was very active. So I was a bit overly confident when I entered the market, and I had to come to a realization very quickly that coming from school is different from the workplace.
Yes.
I had to learn quite a lot, but just the willingness and humbling myself taught me a lot, because the experience that you get in the workplace is quite different from just the experience that we have in the university and the education.
True.
So there's a lot of other factors that went in. So the transition for me, it was quite exciting besides the money part.
Yeah.
From having your 1.5 to but it was quite interesting. I think it was a very interesting thing for me. What I can say about it, what's coming to my mind now as I speak is that maybe one should be going for soft courses like your financial skills and planning, budgeting and that, because coming from a disadvantaged background, because we are considered disadvantaged background, and it is true as you get to the market, because you tend to understand that there's certain things and skills that you are not using that you're supposed to use, like I said, especially the money part, because there is a factor there. When you start earning more with no responsibilities, what do you do with your money? I could have done even better. Not that I did bad.
Splurging, a little bit of splurging there and there. My grandmother used to say that more money, more problems.
You get it.
And numerous reports have highlighted a significant skills mismatch in South Africa, right? With many graduates finding themselves, or that their academics training does not align with the industry needs, because now we're still on the mining part. We'll come to the other areas that you have delved with. How well do current academic programs prepare graduates for the realities of professional workplaces, particularly in the mining industry?
Yes. I've recently met a company from Belgium and Netherlands. They came to South Africa, specifically in Sasol. Remember, now mining, it's a sector where it's normally, they mostly target the community first, right? Within the space. So, and in most of the carriers that there is technical, right? So these guys from Netherlands and Belgium, they looking for technically qualified people in South Africa, specifically in South Africa, because we speak our English and Afrikaans. It fits to them, because in a way. So they use Dutch from their side, so it's easy for us to transition. But what I'm trying to say is that technical skills they have a shortage of them out there. So as student or as graduate, regardless of if you have done HR, for an example, I will advise that if you have an opportunity to go and do a short course in, let me say, for an example, what do you call, there's a career that they normally do. Let me make an example of they do short courses for technical careers, like your, now it's running away. There's something that I wanted to, when you with
the mechanics, engineering.
Yes, you get like the short courses like that, just to empower yourself.
True.
Yeah, because that's what they were looking for, these guys from Netherlands. And I heard that some of the guys, they have called them already.
That's nice.
So there's an opportunity to go overseas from the mining sector, but there is a lot of opportunities in the mines, especially if you are just, because the problem is that you need to really be close to them normally, not unless you have a scarce skill.
And I also remember with myself, before I came into university, I used to think that I don't want to go to college. I want to sit in front of a lecture and let them teach you.
Exactly.
And eventually you see that, hey, but I could have done something, and Yes. Now, talk to us about the skills gaps among new entrants in the mining sector, given your 8 years of experience in that sector. Talk us about the evaluation of critical skills during your time in that industry, and how the skills new job seekers are required to have or differ from those that were required from candidates that entered into the center that time ago.
Yeah. That time when I was working there, I had only access to what we call PITs, which was professional in trainings. So these guys, it will be guys from strictly universities, right? So when we talk about skills gap, is the same. You go back to what we just spoke about in terms of where did you do
That qualification. Yeah.
Where did you do the qualification?
Yeah.
Because they were taking specifically only from universities, right? And then the program under it will be University of Technology,
Yes.
right? So I think, one, you must not stop. Just do not stop studying.
Yeah.
Just do not stop studying. Continue. So you can do your N courses, but upgrade yourself. Go to the University of Technology and upgrade your qualification. Then go to the university and upgrade your qualification. Then it closes the skills gap or the opportunities that happens. For an example, like I said, PIT is a professional in training that was happening at that time, and I think it's still happening now. And those guys, most of them that were on those skills, they are the ones who are mostly running the management of the mine right now as I speak.
Sure. And when you speak that you must definitely continue studying, I went to it's predicate day today. I went to check. I was saying that do I reach a PhD at this level? But we have to get going because you can't. And I remember I was speaking to one guest that was sitting where you were sitting, and she was saying that a degree nowadays is nothing. It's just like matric. So you definitely have to keep on going. Yeah. And now previously a study by the South African Chamber of Mines indicated that there's a growing need for technical skills, particularly in areas like data analysis and environmental management. Now, as the industry pivots towards more sustainable practices, how do you view the preparedness of recent graduates in that critical areas?
You know, it's funny that you're asking me that because, like I said, the recent meeting that I had in Secunda with these guys from Netherlands, they were talking about they wanted IT, anything related to IT. Anything related to IT is a shortage of skill. I think because now we are moving to AI.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So most companies, they want to move towards that now as well, using the systems and softwares or whatsoever that comes in. They need people who are clued up.
True.
I'll make an example. When you're doing marketing, now you need to know about social media. You need to know about, you know, so you want a person who is more clued up about the whole shebang. So I think it's a very important one when it comes to those causes. Just look at the opportunities and never. When I say never stop learning, Polelo, you can have your degree in whatsoever, but you can still go to Rosebank and whatever and do that IT. You know, as long as you know, just move on with the time, because obviously I'm telling you, AI is coming in. I attended HR in Daba, and I'm telling you, most companies there, it's just all about AI. How far are you with using this technology that is coming in, you know, in everything, their apps and all of that. So there is definitely an opportunity there, which I think people should be taking these short courses for that. And there's even free courses online. Yes,
and Liseja Sinosha, I'm sure you are listening attentively because he's studying IT. He must definitely make the best or the most out of that qualification once he gets this. And now the employment rate in South Africa is undesirably high. We can see that, we're going through the most. And it has become increasingly essential for graduates to be proactive in their job searches and skill development. Now, as an HR professional, what proactive steps do you think aspiring professionals should take to enhance their employability?
Wow, this will be very surprising what I will suggest right now.
Yes.
People go volunteer.
Oh, yes. And we have a problem with volunteering. Black people, I would say we can't go there every single day and we're not getting paid.
You know, sometimes you take that very lightly. I've been in the industry now for a while when I work with people. When you look at the person who is a hardworking person, even if that person is a cleaner, a hardworking person, you want to put them somewhere. You just get that you want to put them somewhere. Now we are in a recruitment space where we get companies that comes and look for people from us. The first people that come into mind is people that I've met before. Whether I've interviewed them or whether I've met them somewhere. But there's something that has attracted me to them, for an example. So it's not just about sending the CV. You understand? So it's not just about sending the CV. So I think the best thing, guys, if you are not working, try to volunteer. Go and volunteer somewhere, even if it's just a month. Ask in that company to say, can I come help just for a month?
Yeah.
Just, and then it will give you something. Then it's something that you can also speak as an experience now. Now you can speak about experience when you go for interviews to say,
True.
no, I have an experience,
True.
I know that I have a couple of candidates that I once placed.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they told me that, no, I'm working for my uncle, I'm helping him. I've studied this, but I'm helping my uncle with the cleaning of his office or something like that.
Yeah.
Because then it means that this person is willing to do something.
Yeah, true.
And I'm telling you, you get blessed by just giving yourself the service, giving yourself, because it's not about taxi, guys, because they will start there.
Definitely.
Mara, you can always have money for your hair or your nails. No.
And then when I completed matric, I volunteered at Spa before they hired me. I was pushing trolleys there, and thank God. And I went there before they could even hire me. I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. And I remember I was putting it in my CV when I was marketing at another place.
You.
Yeah, definitely. No, but we must show that willingness to work.
That's true.
Now we also understand that new employees, especially those that are fresh from universities, face a myriad of challenges in the workplace. You're laughing. Now talk to us about the significance of students or graduates like familiarizing themselves with those kind of problems before employment.
Wow. I tell the new ones, anyone that is new, they know themselves, and I hope they're listening. They're very lucky to have me because I talk a lot.
Yes. And then you extrapolate on those answers so that
I actually tell them and let them know, listen, we must not relax.
Yes.
All right. So currently, and I'm even proud to say this on air, we have students from here, actually from TUT.
Yes, I heard you mention
that we placed recently. So when you asked me that yesterday, we were doing we had a workshop for the Poppy Act.
Okay. Yes.
Speaking to them for about the Poppy Act. So they are currently working with us. So we have students, about 30 of them or so, and yeah. It's interesting, but yo guys, I think that I'm starting to learn more when we talk about you are previously disadvantaged, because you thought that maybe they're saying I slept without food. No, I know that you never slept without, you never went to bed hungry.
Yeah.
I know you always had a roof over your head.
Yeah.
But you are previously disadvantaged, because what I'm trying to say is that when you look at the other ethnic groups or so, they are exposed more into a workplace before even the time comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't even know how to work. Exactly, the structure is very important. I've realized that some business people, because I always watch business people, you understand now, the daughter is starting to understand that there's an environment. This is what happens. It's not just about the theory that I hear.
Yeah.
You understand? So there's quite a lot of challenges, and I feel like sometimes it's a matter of you need not to be a groupie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For an example, the guys that we have now, I'm talking about 30 students that just came in freshly. Yeah. And if the problem is that now they copycat, they're looking at this one, they're looking at this one, but these are wrong people that you're looking at. You need to be looking at the ones that are here and focus on yourself, because now it's all about yourself, the service that you're going to deliver.
Yeah.
So the focus, it's all about the focus. Focus, guys. Yes. Guys, focus.
And I love how you keep on saying it. There's a friend of mine when we are doing theater, and she always says that theater is all about focus, and focus. And another challenge is staying on par with the industry-related developments and increasing one's industry-related knowledge. Now, to what extent does this knowledge enhance the graduates' prospects of finding employment? And aside from common interview questions such as tell us about yourself and more, just how deep can recruitment specialists go to assess and interviews industry-related knowledge?
Industry-related knowledge.
Because I
Okay.
remember before you take that one, I remember I went to an interview at one point. I did not know anything about that. I just went there and said, I'm going to try my best. I'm not leaving that office without a job. So, but please.
Yeah. So currently in our company, remember we're working with a group of companies. Anyone who wants to do recruitment and all of that, they can come to us. So it's different technical requirements that might be there. But when it comes to technicality, start with the basic that you have. For an example, when you're going for an accounting.
Yeah.
When you're going for an accounting interview, the technicalities will be to understand the definitions of the terms because it's about the language, right?
Oh, yes.
When we talk about debit and credit, understand the basics. You don't have to know and search on the company exactly. Maybe if you check on the services as well, it will give you a clue because accounting doesn't work for company registration. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So you look at it, but do not focus on those things because you end up lying.
Yeah.
But if a company is African Revenue Services, you ask them what type of taxes do we pay at SARS? They will tell you about VAT. Okay, yes, that is true.
Yeah.
But where is pay as you earn? Because they've never earned money.
Gosh.
They don't know about it. So it's just about that extensive knowledge in terms of technicalities of the position. So if you will be going for manufacturing, check what is it that's manufacturing, what am I bringing in? If it's a manufacturing company, but you are coming for a supply chain, because you did supply chain in school, then get the basics of supply chain.
Oh, try.
Right? The strategy and how to make supply chain work according to your knowledge. It doesn't matter. You know, sometimes in an interview, we don't really looking for a correct answer, but we are looking for the confidence and the willingness to say, I can go, but do not lie.
And also understanding.
Yeah, don't lie. Do not make. Because I will make an example.
Yeah.
One student came and he said, no, I know SARS.
Yeah.
We pay UIF there. I'm like, okay, you pay UIF. Yeah, we pay UIF. I know UIF about 300 and something like that and whatever. I'm like, you see, those are basic things. You cannot pay 300 to UIF. There's a cap on UIF. It's only 1% of your salary. Otherwise, if it's beyond that, it's only 100 and something rand. So you see, he did not make his research and it was a lie. So the lying, rather you say, I am not sure, but this is what I think can happen. According to just the general knowledge that I'm thinking or whatever, then you are a person who can use your brain. That's what I'm taking. You can use your brain. Oh, all right. Then maybe I can work with you because you can be corrected.
It has definitely gone 2 minutes before the hour 8 o'clock. And if you just tuned in into your radio station, just know that you're listening to TUT FM 96.2. We amplifying voices, empowering lives. And this is Praga graduating. In conversation with us is Ms. Nokuthula Makhanya, who's an entrepreneur and a former mining industry professional, currently the owner of a successful human resource firm. And tonight's conversation is centered around employment, learnerships, entrepreneurship, businesses, and internships. And we'll definitely come back to that conversations after we take a quick break. Definitely don't go anywhere. Go take a glass of water. And if you're watching TV or you're sitting on those phone of yours, or watching TikToks, you're watching Brother Ignim and all of that, switch off that thing and make sure that you're listening to this conversation. We take a quick break and we'll definitely be back. And this is Plug a Graduate. It has definitely gone 6 minutes after the hour 8 o'clock. And like I always say, after coming from an ad break, if you just tuned in into your radio station, just know that you're listening to TUT FM 96.2. We amplifying voices, empowering lives. And this is Plug a Graduate. And tonight we're diving into a conversation at the intersection of employment, learnerships, and entrepreneurship and the business landscape in South Africa. And our guest, who has a unique blend of experience as an entrepreneur and that of being in the mining sector, this diverse background has given them first-hand insights into the evolution of the South African job market, the importance of fostering talent, and the transformative potential of learnership programs. And now, Ms. Makhanya, the South African economy is increasingly in recognizing the importance of entrepreneurship, especially as traditional markets face a myriad of challenges. Many professionals are making career shifts to adapt to changing markets. Coming into you transitioned to business in 2015 when you launched your first business venture, which was a cleaning services company. What informed or inspired your decision to venture into entrepreneurship, especially after 8 years of having experience in the mining sector?
You're taking me back.
Yes.
So it was just a passion for me to make a difference.
Yeah.
I think it's a personal decision. It's not wrong to be at the workplace or working for a company. I used to work for a very good company. It was nice. However, it just came to a point where I just wanted to do something that will make a difference.
Yeah.
Right? So why I started, to be honest, why I started this, maybe I can show why I started.
Please.
Basically, what happened was I come from a small town called Bethal, which is next to Secunda. I had a lot of sisters and brothers that I saw that there's a gap that maybe can be closed. You know, creating an opportunity, living in a city that has so much, because what I was targeting there, I looked at how people are struggling with nannies and people who are cleaning their houses. There was a lot of complaints, especially at that level when I was working. You know, you're working with mothers and people who are just, at that level of having houses and all of that. And with the time, the way that time has moved, you see, when we are growing up, you will go to school from Monday to Friday, Saturday, later washing, like
True.
You know, so you want to change as you grow, that it must not be that type of setup. Again, when it comes to Saturday, or even if you do want to change, come Saturday, you have a baby shower, you have other things now, because you are in a different level.
Yeah.
You understand? So I saw a gap of that. This is what we can tackle, because there is a lot of people that are. So I was mostly inspired to make a difference in those people's lives.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, it was just saying, listen, if I do not do it now, when am I going to do it? Because once you start the postponing, at that time, I mean, I was like, how old was I? 26, 25, 26? If I did not do it then, 10, 30, you still at there, because I knew that I can do it. Because since from a very young age, I've always loved to be an entrepreneur. I've always been selling something. I've always just been selling something. So I knew that it is something that I eventually want to do. So for me, it was kind of God-given talent.
And I always say to people that you'll blink and the next thing you are 30, you blink again.
You see?
Yay.
And they see now, once you let me say, for an example, once you get married or once you have a child, now your commitments are changing.
True.
And then now the security that you need is different.
Yeah.
You need a different security now, So if you do not take a chance while you're still young, because you guys, you are young. I know most of the listeners for this radio stations are young.
True.
Listeners. Guys, you're young. Do as much as possible. Do as much as possible. So I think for me, it was just that decision to say, if I do not do it now, when am I going to do it?
Yeah, and I'm watching this other series on Netflix, The Chosen. I'm into religious things, right?
The Chosen, yes. The Chosen 5 is out now.
Now it's right. And I loved it one time. There is no perfect time.
Yeah.
There is no perfect time. So if you want to do something, do it now. Because I definitely believe that one day I'm going to blink.
True.
Next thing I find myself go to Rumunya and I'm like, what happened? No, but I just want to understand, what are some of the earliest challenges that you encountered when you started that first business?
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. We worked so hard. But what was beautiful about it, we used to even clean around here. We used to come here, clean houses here. with the van. We were driving trucks and vans, and I'm telling you,
On overalls.
hey, overalls and boots, hey, cow boots.
Yeah.
But it was very nice. Now that you think about it backwards, but the most challenge that we had, it was a cash flow. I came in with a capital to say, this is my capital.
Yes.
I'm going to do this, and the money goes out so quickly,
So fast.
very fast. So the first thing, and that's what actually held us back when it comes to 2020, and we had to just stop.
Oh, yes.
And also not knowing exactly business. When you think that you know sometimes because you just went to school, you think you know.
Yes.
When you went to school, you think you know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You must address me as a graduate. I always tell people.
You think you know. So I had my head high with that, thinking that no, I know this, because I had mentors that they keep on telling you business takes about 5 years to break even. It takes about, I was like, these people, they don't know. I'm going to show them.
Yes, I'm going to make it.
Me, 6 months. 6 months.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm telling you, it was hard with the cash flow. It was hard coming back to the point of my father doesn't have that money, But when you talk about the background, when you say you are previously disadvantaged, I felt it that time, because I felt like if my father had the money to just borrow me and help me,
Yeah.
just help me, Jan. So it was the finance most part of it, but otherwise, the relationship we had with clients, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I think if any of them are listening, they should call in. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So I still give myself, I do not regret anything that happened then.
True.
I learned a lot from that experience, from cleaning people's houses.
And then would you say those challenges played any role in your approach to your current firm?
A lot. You see, now our company, because we've always been doing HR, but just as a support system to other businesses, because we had the experience, right? So we were doing it like, you will have a company, Mkhotsi, please, Nokuthula, just come, I need a person. And then I'll be looking for a person for them. And then you go, no, this is how you design a job card. This is how you design a job advert. Okay, I designed the job advert for you, because we used to also own like an internet cafe. So we'll design those things for them and just send it out for them. And then do interviews for them, and all of that.
Yeah.
But came 2020, that's when I was like, no. Now I'm doing policies for people, all right? And then I started studying as well on strategic management. Everything that I've learned, I'm telling you, I'm using every little knowledge that I gained and skill from the cleaning service.
True.
I'm telling you, I'm using it.
Definitely.
It is definitely working for me.
And then graduates, are you encouraged to leverage their academic knowledge in practical settings, particularly in the fields that are experiencing rapid growth, such as technology, you did mention that, and sustainable services? However, the skills you have acquired in HR help you navigate the challenges of running that cleaning services company and now an HR firm? And what advice would you give to graduates about transferring a skill?
Wow. When you are a teacher learns more than a learner. So it is important for you not to sit in with information. Currently, the people that works with me or that are working with me, especially now, like I said, when I came here, I wanted to know what they sent, because these people, they have access to every work that I'm doing. They know what I'm doing. So me transferring it to them, it's easy for me to now think on a strategic level to say, okay, this is what's happening. These are the problems. Because if I'm doing it myself, I do not have the chance to overlook.
Yes.
You understand? So I overlook and I look at that. So what was the question again? Because I'm going out of the question now.
What other advice would you give to graduates about skill transfer?
Yes. So it is very important for when you are a graduate. Let me just start with when you are a graduate, right? Whatever that you know, don't think it's stupid. You must bring it in, all right? If you have a senior, let's make an example with you starting work now. first job.
Yeah.
You must say your views, but in the right way,
Yes.
not with an attitude. What about, because I said, as your manager or whoever you're reporting to, I said this cup is black.
Yeah.
All right, and we are making it black. If I have another knowledge because I read it somewhere, come and suggest those things, Come in as a suggestion, because then it means that you're thinking beyond, because I'm telling you, every person has a ceiling where you can think just up until here.
Yeah.
You need, especially as you grow.
Yeah.
I know at my age now, I've realized that as I grow, you need the fresh blood. You need the fresh blood to come in, if new ideas and all of that. So you must not, and even when you know something and now you are no longer a graduate, you are more experienced, teach others that are coming.
True.
Teach others that are coming. I'm telling you, there's magic in teaching others.
And I love that, because I remember I was a tutor in matric, and also some coming years when I went into varsity. I love acquiring knowledge. I feel like my purpose is just to acquire knowledge and pass it on to other people. I read a lot of philosophy, and I don't understand people that don't love reading and people that don't love knowledge with the information that you acquiring and you're just keeping it to yourself.
I'm telling you.
How can we do this? No, go find it yourself. No. But whenever we talk about entrepreneurship, the topic of funding rears in its head, right? Most young entrepreneurs usually struggle to secure funding, yet innovative funding solutions are emerging in South Africa. Did you perhaps encounter similar challenges in finding at any point in your business?
Yes. However, there are, guys, we need to use whatever channels we have within the government, especially because I remember the youth funding. I was still a youth then.
Yes. What is it? The NYDA.
NYDA. NYDA, they have classes, they have what. They even helped me. Those ones, I did get funding.
Yeah.
But what I will have to advise as well is that you need to pay attention. I think we sometimes just want things to happen without us putting the work.
Oh,
yes. Yeah,
yes.
because I remember when I received the funding from them, I attended their courses and I did every application thing that had to be done. Like, I had to put attention, like, my attention is here and I have to do this, and I did it.
True.
So sometimes it's a matter of focus. Going back to the word focus. Focus. I'm telling you, it was just about focus for me to get it. So use the channels that they have. There's business advisors by CEDA and CETA and all of that. Use those channels. You might not be lucky, but do not just sit. If you are selling something, continue to sell.
True.
Try to reinvest back to your business, because that's another problem. We what do you call it in Zulu? But uyadla ingene esandleni uyayidla, something like that.
Yeah.
But let us try to invest back into your business. Let us.
Yeah, I think that is the most problem with entrepreneurs, because
that's what I learned.
Yeah, my uncle had a business, a very, very booming one. Our problem was that when it came month end and he saw that, no more and some lavish clothes, it's no longer restocking, and a couple of years later the business was out.
Yes.
And now you spoke about mentorship earlier. Just want to understand, how important have mentorship and networking been in your entrepreneurial journey, and what advice would you give to graduates about building a network?
It's very important.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm here is because of network. The reason why I'm here, it's network. The reason why I'm not sitting watching TV now, sitting with my kids and my husband, because my husband is here anyway, but it's network.
Yeah.
The networks that you get from, I went to HR in Daba, I met people, and I've been having meetings almost every day with everyone that I met there.
Yeah.
Right? I just spoke to you now about the company from Netherlands and Belgium.
Yes.
That is networking. I saw their advert. I went there and network. Mentorship also is very important if you're getting into an industry in terms of entrepreneurship. When you are going to open a business, be mentored. Look around first. Who is doing what you want to do? Go and learn from them. And surprisingly, those people are not competitors. You do not do. They are competitors, but that's not your competition that you must not focus on. You must get closer to them.
Definitely. And I know Sorry for that. I always say to people that, and this is a saying coming from my friend when I graduated, or even actually when I started working at UTFM, he would go around telling people that I know people who know people who know the president of this country.
Yeah,
So you cannot.
I can be connected.
Definitely. And now the South African business landscape is continuously evolving, especially within the integration of technology in various sectors, including HR and training services, to be fair.
Yeah.
Now, what role has adaptability played in your business, and how can graduates prepare themselves to be flexible and in the face of this forever changing industry?
Yes, I don't know what to advise to people on that. However, in my opinion, technology research, guys. Maybe graduate. If I'm now that my target is graduate that I'm speaking to now.
Yes.
For graduate, it's all about research. We spoke about when you go for an interview, what technical questions should you look for?
Yeah.
It's research. Research about the companies. Research what exactly they are doing. What systems are out there for HR? What systems are out there that can be used as solutions? Because then you have a clue of certain solutions and problems that you will face. I will make an example. Currently, small businesses, they struggle with HR services when it comes to their employees because they do not understand. Because you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a leader, but you do not have the people's personality. You do know how to manage your people. Example, a practical one: clock in, the time that you come into work and the time that you knock off.
Yes.
Ne?
People get late to work.
Besides that, getting to work, remember there is a standard according to the basic conditions of employment. You need to work a certain hours, right? So if I'm paying you per month for certain hours, but you're not giving me those hours, then it means that one drop I get.
Yes.
And funny enough, employees, when they work more hours, they will want to be paid.
True.
They know when they work more hours. So what do you do then as an HR person, or what do you come up with as a graduate coming into this company? How do you react to that? Do you also just join the system, or do you suggest there's clock-in systems now that you can buy over the counter, for an example?
Oh.
You know, how do we resolve that? So I think it's all about the research, so that when you see a problem, bring upon a solution to the company, suggest a solution. I was talking to the students, the interns yesterday during the workshop of Poppy Act. I was like, guys, I need you to tell me solutions. You don't come here and tell me this is what's happening, this is what is wrong. No, come up with a solution. This is what I saw. How about we do it this way? This is what I saw. How about we do it that way? That is very impressive.
True.
Because I'm telling you, as you grow, at my age, guys, I know that I love new ideas. Sometimes I just don't want to think.
Yeah.
Myself, I just don't want to think. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. You get tired of thinking.
Yeah.
That's why we need to go to pension very early. So research is the most
definitely,
important
and I love what you say before I take this last question before we go to an ad break, that people must be thinkers. I'm a performing artist, so I write and direct theatrical shows. And sometimes I'm tired. Yeah. I'm working with a cast that does want to think. And when you get to the rehearsal space, and we say, how can we make this work? And people are there looking at you.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh wow, we've been doing this show for almost 3 months and not come on.
You get tired.
You get tired as a person.
No, you're making me feel good now that at your age you also get tired. So it's not about the age thing.
Now, last question before we take an ad break. The South African government is increasing its support of entrepreneurship as a solution to the high unemployment rate, right? With various initiatives aimed at empowering young entrepreneurs. Looking ahead, what trends do you anticipate will shape the future of entrepreneurship in South Africa, and how can graduates align their ventures with these trends to increase their chances of success?
Soft skills. Soft skills. Guys, learn soft skills. Communication. You know, those little soft skills. I think will take you somewhere.
Yeah.
Just soft skills.
And people don't know how to communicate.
Hey.
Yeah, I think that is the problem. People don't know how to communicate. And I love that. I'm also trying to venture into communication myself.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You must come to us. We'll teach you. You pay us for that.
Network. I'm going to be making connections. So the network has to apply there.
But I think soft skills, guys, there is an online a thing that I want to highlight, that you can also get all of these courses for free, man. What do you call it again? It's Allison.
Allison.
Yeah, Allison.
Note that down.
Yeah, I've picked up that from Allison you get all of these courses. Just do these courses. They even give certificate for it.
Oh yeah.
But the fact, what I'm trying to say is that you can it gives you the knowledge or the content that they bring there. I've noticed that it's actually good content. So I think people must just prepare themselves. They can do better.
True.
You must always believe that you can do better.
Definitely. And once again, allow me to remind you that you are listening to the Groundbreakers, and this is another edition of Plug a Graduate. And in conversation with us is Ms. Nokuthula Makhanya, who is an entrepreneur and a former mining industry professional. I'm going to keep on pressing on that one. I'm not going to let it go. A former mining industrial professional, currently the owner of a successful human resource firm. And tonight our conversation is centered around employment, entrepreneurship, leadership, and business, because that's where the country is heading from. We're going to take a quick break, and afterwards I'm hoping that the production team that side might have questions from listeners, if there are any, and then we'll eventually continue with that conversation. Please don't go anywhere. Go take a glass of water, come back. If you are eating something, your supper, because it's supper time, take some pieces there and make sure you don't choke. Have a water with that, and eventually when we come back from this quick ad break, we'll definitely keep going forward with that conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 2UTFM, and this is Plug a Graduate. It has gone 22 minutes before the hour 9 o'clock, and like I always say, and I'm going to keep always saying this, if you just tuned in into your radio station, just know that you are listening to TUTFM 96.2. We amplifying voices, empowering lives. And once again, allow me to reformally introduce myself. My name is Polelo N Madisa. I am second of my name, first of my name, and still in conversation with us is Miss Nokuthula Makhanya. And now, Miss Nokuthula, I told you that we'll have questions coming in from our listeners, viewers, onto the onlines. Yes. So yeah, please indulge them, right?
Yes.
The first question comes from Ponsonage. She says, what advice would you give to a graduate in terms of dress code for interviews and the workplace?
Yes. It's very important.
And then you were just saying it.
All right. So interviews, it's a formal setting, guys. So when we talk about formal, I always say, yes, I know that you can wear a jean formally, so especially for boys. Boys is different when they wear a jean and a shirt and a panjinyana, it looks, it can be. But that is semi-formal, so it just depends on the position as well. Most of my clients, it will be a formal one, like it's office based. And if the job is office based, formal, guys, formal. You don't have to be sexy and all of that. Upushy fashion. No, it doesn't impress. It just gives us another. The looks are very important. Just be formal. Simple black and white or just before mine. And
I want to say this. I think I lost out on a job, a very proper job, because of how I was dressed. I was wearing overalls. I picked up there. I went there on a Monday wearing overalls, putting sunglasses, got a bottle of water with an umbrella. And then when I walked through the gate, so some of the interviews that the candidates that were there were sitting outside, and I could see for the first moment when I got in, please do come in, and I was like, I'm not getting the job. And I was looking at myself, seeing that, no, I'm not getting the job.
I'm failing to understand what happened. Why did you wear overalls going for an interview from the first place? Is it not lack of knowledge or what?
I don't know. Maybe I just, because I know that place, right? It's a department, my department under humanities, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe the people that are interviewing me, they know me. This is how I dress.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and when I sat down, when I sat down, and those people who interview me like, and I could see it, and I answered perfectly, very greatly so. But
but your looks.
No.
The looks, they play a very important role.
So I've learned that no.
Yeah.
And still also from Ponsonach, we got 3 questions coming in from Ponsonach.
Wow.
And she's saying, what advice would you give to companies about allowing the youth, especially graduates, to volunteer in their companies, because most of them don't allow volunteers?
Yes. So I think the problem is, how do you come in to ask for that position? Because I think from the company, I'll just speak before I advise what the companies should do. But I think it also, how do you present yourself when you go to that company? Because they will be skeptical. Why would somebody, it's not a normal thing. Why would somebody just come and say they want to work here for free? You know?
Yeah.
But I think for companies, they will want it as an advantage, especially if, for an example, if you're coming from us, we are saying we have a volunteer that can do this work, then your credibility, you understand. So the problem will be the trust that they will have with why they will be, So I think it's a matter of the trust or of the credibility of what you're bringing. So maybe if you present yourself as well in a right way, coming with all the papers, maybe your qualifications and even a CV to say, listen, I have this, I see your company is this, can I work for free?
Yeah. Because they'll see me wearing overalls, but Friday the computer it's not gonna work out.
So for companies, really, I would really suggest that they explore in that manner. But the trust, I know the problem will be the trust.
Yeah.
Yes. However, yes, take a chance, regardless of whether you fail or not. You never know your day.
Right. And then I think the advice would say, what would you give to companies? The question was that, what advice would you give
to companies?
Yes, about allowing the youth.
About allowing the youth, ne? So I think it's very important actually, because we are looking for experienced people most of the time. It's easier to work with a little bit of experience, even if it is just admin or small or 6 months or 3 months experience. It always counts. So what I will advise is that companies should really, really look into it. It will really lessen the stress of, because there is always something. If the business is running, there is always something that can be created. Honestly speaking, there is something that it always can be created. Sometimes, yes, they are factors of budget and all of that, but there can be something for someone.
Yeah. And I love that, because I remember a friend of mine posted something on social media, but it was a copied post, and the person was writing that companies should actually sometimes give people a shot.
Yeah.
Because, as much as we lack the experience and whatever, but you can see the determination of this person to say this person is willing to learn, is willing to give around. But yeah, definitely. And I think this is, you answered it, but eventually please do give it to her again. She says, what is the importance of soft skills as a graduate?
Yes, I think we've touched on that a little bit as well.
Yes.
That guys look into the soft skills. They help a lot. I think I wouldn't be where I am without the soft skills, because they become more practical. When we talk about soft skills, we're talking about practical skills in a practical work or whatsoever environment. But the point is, soft skills are important. I'm not going to say they're more important than your qualification.
Yes.
Yeah. But they are important with the, there's a word that I wanted to use, but it just gone away. Interpersonal skills.
Yes.
Yeah, because they play a very big role.
Yes.
You need to know how to speak to people. You need to understand, have a structure.
Yeah.
It's not just about the knowledge, because the knowledge gives you the structure to the work.
Yeah.
But how do you deal with the people? How do you then manage yourself? Also
emotional
intelligence and all of that. So soft skills are very important. They must look out. We are planning to open up those soft skills next year. We'll come back we'll come back here actually to advertise that. We'll be doing classes of the soft skills in somewhere in Hatfield. We have a building in Hatfield where we'll be working at. So we'll be looking into that because we have realized the gap that we have. A person has a qualification, but they don't really know how to speak to people. They don't really know how to write. You know, how to write a formal communication, when to write and when to speak. They don't know when to do a follow-up. The emotional intelligence comes in because they will think that if I said you must follow my statements and my invoices, they feel like once Polelo abwale na hambe, then I can't phone them again because, you know, but no. The work is work. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Soft skills comes in, they play a role, a very big role. So
and I remember I used to fight a lot with my older sister. She studied education. She's a teacher, and then sometimes she would speak to us in the house, when I'm like, what did they teach you in terms of communicating to that education you did? And I remember I was fighting also with a friend just a couple of months ago. She did communication. Communication, and now she would text me and talk to me. I'm like, Mara, what did you pay that money for?
Exactly.
In the middle of the day.
It's a personal skill.
And now we have another one, Lesego Malope. She says, how much experience do I need to start looking for high-earning jobs?
Okay. Lesego, be patient with yourself.
And I got 200,000.
Be patient with yourself.
Yes.
Listen, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. It depends what experience is that. Because, for an example, we spoke about the mining industry. If you have done engineering, the money is they are very high. Chances are very high. Amounts or the amount or earnings are very high. But I would advise, I wouldn't really give a specific number of years. I think it really, really depends on what is that skill for? How much is needed? Is it needed? How much do you sell yourself? Because you can have a 6 months to a 12 months experience and get a high earning job. And depending also, what is your figure? What is the high? But I think be patient with yourself as well. Give yourself a chance. If it is your career path that you are going to do this for 6,000, the next time you're doing this for 10,000, the next time you're doing this for 20,000, just give yourself a chance. But I don't think there's any specific timeline or that we can put in to say the number of years. No, but obviously job adverts as well, we do put in the years there, depending what's the position. Is it an entry level, middle, higher? Because when it's higher, then we are looking at more than 5 years at least. So from middle to higher, it goes to 3 to 4 years.
And this is from Austin Simin. I have to give our shout out to him. He's always listening. He's always tuning in to Cracker Graduate. He says, how can I find a job in this high unemployment rate in South Africa?
Apply.
Send those CVs.
Never lose hope, guys. When you send CVs, we in our company at NPM Consulting, we normally try. We are still a pretty small company, if I can say that, but we try to answer everyone, whether it's a yes or a no. We try to answer because we realize that people, they lose hope, they get tired. I've been sending CVs about 20. There's not even a reply to say.
We regret to inform
you get what I'm trying to say. So we always do that. Do not lose hope. And if we keep on seeing your CV, it starts clicking. Your name starts clicking to me. I always see Polelo. I'm like, oh, there's this Polelo. What is this one? You will want. So you'll never know. So just continue to apply. Do not look at the environment and the circumstances of the country. You are not the president. It's not your job. Leave it out. Focus on yourself. And I'm telling you, opportunities are there. Like I said, I feel like when graduate, if I can have graduate and say they want to volunteer somewhere and they give me their CVs, I'm sure I can plug them somewhere.
Definitely, beautifully said. And Lisiba Lawrence says, speaking about soft skills, how can I have proof that I can speak for me when I'm not there? How do I add soft skills to my CV?
soft skills, they come as skills on your CV. You add them as skills.
A skill.
But listen, soft skills, normally when you attend them, you will have a certificate of attendance or something like that.
Oh, yes.
Some of them you actually go with, they assess you and moderate you, and then you get a qualification for it. But I think put it in your CV. You can even add it as your bio to say, these are the soft skills that I've acquired over the years. And should you be lucky that they call you for an interview, please, you must make sure that you highlight them. The big question, tell us about yourself. It's not about yourself,
okay.
the one it's not the Google one. You know, the one that you get from Google when you Google and it's really like, I'm a hard worker. No, we know that you're a hard worker.
Yes.
Let's just skip to what do you have. You know, what do you have? Sell yourself. That's when they add to the sell to yourself. Tell us about yourself.
And
It's a good
and John Mashiane says, if you had to advise someone about going into the job market versus becoming an entrepreneur, yes, what would you then say?
You must know what you want, first of all. Where are your strengths? Because entrepreneurship as well, it also comes in as a talent in a way, if I can put it that way, because you need to be passionate about what you do there. It's a lot of work. Some people are just comfortable. Listen, you must just find your niche. Where do you belong? You can be just comfortable in the workplace and actually grow in the workplace and become a CEO of that company. There's also growth in the workplace. So it just depends. Where's your career path? You can try. Entrepreneurship is open for anyone. That's a beautiful part about it. Try it.
And then Nukumaibila says, when given an opportunity to ask the panel questions, what are the relevant questions to ask or impress employers?
Oh, I know that Google gives good questions on that.
Does it?
But I think try to be more relevant to the position. I will say avoid asking about the money.
Yes.
Avoid asking about the money. It raises, I've seen that from my clients, it raises their eyebrows. Is that the important part for you?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to add? You know? So, but I've had other graduates that ask good questions like, what's the culture in the company when I come in? How would you expect me to be? How do you expect me to act? What's the culture? What type of personality you're looking for? You know? But use that as part of selling yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
In your company, if you didn't get a chance to sell yourself, that question of soft skills, go back to that question and say, in your company, because I have these extra skills, do you think that they can be useful to you? You know?
Yeah.
You bounce them back.
Yes.
Don't ask about the money.
Let's take a quick and fast ad break so that we close this chapter of our
Wonderful.
question of listeners. And when we come back from that quick ad break, we're definitely continuing, and I think we'll be wrapping up. And then you can tell us to say, what opportunities do you have there at your company for people to apply? Take a quick break. We'll be back.
All right.
5 minutes before the end of our show, and then we'll have Dire William Masenya coming in, or someone else, because I heard that he might not be here. I'm not sure, but the production team will allow us, will let us know. But yes, once again, this is Plug a Graduate, and we're coming to the end of it. And before I take this last two questions, or anything that you want to say from your side in terms of closing remarks or anything, and also the opportunities that you have at your company for people that we can start applying from next week Monday. Send in those CVs, because you said people must apply, must not stop applying.
Wow, it was really great to be here, guys. Thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to the questions. It's so amazing. I've been doing radio interviews a couple of times now, but I've never really been in a studio, so it was really nice being here. I am willing.
Yeah.
I am willing to transfer any knowledge that I can give, any skill that I am willing to serve at this point of my life. Therefore, I am really happy that everybody's listening and the interaction that has happened today. Guys, do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. Do not be listening to news that the employment rate is high. It is difficult, but bring upon solutions.
Yeah.
Whether you can do entrepreneurship, whether you can do anything, but do not stop. Whether you are learning, whether you're studying something, do not stop, do not lose hope. If you have sent a CV to us, you can send it again. So currently, we really do not have much of the opportunities that are happening, but I will send it through to the studio as well.
Yes,
The contact in terms of if you are willing to relocate and you have a technical skill for Netherlands and Belgium, that there is an opportunity. They're looking for more of the IT guys, of which we are still in talks with them, but we can start collecting that information for now. Students who are looking for just experience with qualifications. Also, guys, you must also play a role within the students' organizations that you get in school. They help you to grow a lot.
True.
Yeah, so please just serve some way. Be doing something. Like, do not just be somebody who did not do anything. You did not play netball. There's nothing that is happening. Like, you just go to school and all of that. Then you will never gain the interpersonal skills of dealing with people, of getting into a crowd and all of that.
Yes.
So it is very important for you to expose yourself, especially at both TUT. You guys have resources, explore. You want to be a radio DJ, come and see how a studio looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they might take your job, but I'm just saying they must think outside the box. Do not just sit in. Listen, there's a statement that they will always say, that they say, wake up, get ready, and then bangene.
Yeah.
Like bangene.
Yeah.
Right? Currently, I will send through that. However, you can send through your CVs. We always putting people under our database. So you can send through your CVs at admin at NPM.
Yes.
Admin at npmconsulting.co.za. We always keep CVs, and then we will definitely give you a call whenever we have any other opportunities. And currently we're looking at, but I don't think the current market we have positions of people who have worked, so they must have a degree or advanced diploma in financial accounting, that have experience in a TERS audit. Yeah, so those ones, I know that there are few, but if there's anybody who has ever heard of TERS, which is a UIF TERS, then we are looking for them. Yes.
With that being said, I don't think there's anything else I can say or even add on, but besides saying that, thank you so much for making time to have this conversation with us in person. It's one of the few guests that we've been that had Otla on studio, because we had most of our guests virtually, but this has been a wonderful and a great experience, and I'm sure our listeners, wherever they're sitting, they want to Kajeno, it was fire, it was it. So with that being said, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. And now it has come to that end of our conversation. There isn't really much that I can say or add on to that conversation. I remember Bra Franz always said something something of this, and I always forget to ask him what he means about that question, but it's a very beautiful one. So I just want to say we have come to that end of this show, and I have to give gratitude to the following people: Directorate of Corporate Education, Dr. Rolin Brink, TUT FM Station Manager, Ms. Kidiboni Mahapa Tsilela, Alumni Relations and Fundraising Manager, Ms. Shalatit Portia Zavana, and Directorate of Corporate Education Employability Practitioner, Mr. Albert Sekhobela, and TUT FM Programs Manager, Plug Graduate Show Director, Mr. Khonsemole Fokimusima Nehape, and Plug Graduate Guest Liaison Officer, Ms. Matumelo Lebiani, Content Producer, Mr. Isaac Maloga, Videographer and Social Media Officer, Mr. Tsepiso Khokwa and Sebataho Munchaka Madogo, and a Videographer and Production Officer, Mr. Leseja Sinosha, Mr. Weiwo, and Script Writer and Producer, Ms. Shanita Piet, and me, obvious, Msimana Hape. My name is Polelo N Madisa. I am second of my name, first of my line. I am the Praetorian Prince, well known as the Big Nose Boy in the Red Head. Kentwana Pitori Twanera Twanar Namela Polo Kamanara. And with that being said, good evening and good night. And once again, this has been another edition of The Groundbreakers. We out.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.